Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Narita Miller, and if you're new here, I want to say welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. So guys, it is officially 1 year post my surgery, and I just want to start off by saying that God is good. That is for a fact. I've seen the hand and work of the Lord in my health this past year. And while no, I'm not where I wish I was, I'm not where I want to be in life right now, but I thank God that I'm not where I used to be post-surgery. So for those who don't know, I haven't been following for a while. I had a surgery done late December of 2023. And this surgery literally happened by the grace of God. I almost gave up. I almost left the clinic after changing my doctors a few times. Comes to say as well to be your health advocate, because some doctors may just brush you off. That, at least that was the case for me. If you want the full story, I do have a video on that, and check out our Trying to Conceive playlist if you want more information on that. But also for the testimony of this video, I do need to share that for years we were brushed off by doctors. I had gone through a lot of medical situations, heavy symptoms every month, things that were out of the normal, to the point where I thought, well, maybe this is just how my cycle is. For perspective, I had debilitating cramps. Sometimes I had to rush to the hospital. It seemed so extra and dramatic, but the truth is that it wasn't normal. And it wasn't until I found my last doctor that I changed. So I said, I'm going to give this clinic one more chance, this, doctor's office one more chance. And I prayed about it. And I remember saying, Lord, I pray that this doctor helps me as if it was for her. Not that I wanted someone else to go through what I was going through, but when you understand and could relate, you help someone differently. Sure enough, I got a great doctor. She took time to hear me out, to listen, to look at my charts, to look at my previous tests and labs. She went way back, and I was like, wow, typically they rush you in and out of these offices, but thank God Almighty, she checked through everything. She heard me and she said, no, that's not normal. And I was like, well, when I had my miscarriage, because we did suffer a miscarriage in 21, when I had my miscarriage, the doctors never did a D&C because at the time I had healed enough where they didn't think it was necessary. Now, where I'm from, when you have a miscarriage, a D&C is automatic. But that wasn't my case. She said, you never did a D&C? I said, no. And I'm getting somewhere with this, y'all. You want to hear this. This is just to see like the greatness and goodness of the Lord. This is part of the testimony, and I have to mention it. She says, you never did? I said, no, I never got a D&C. And at that point, it had been 2 years from my miscarriage. She said, oh, and then I was like, can I do a D&C just to maybe clean the inside, scrape, maybe do like a internal flush? She's like, no, I think you need something more than a D&C, but I'm going to get a second and third opinion. I was like, wow. I had never, in the 6 years I was in that office, never, like, for a long time I was brushed off. For a long time, I wasn't heard. I was just told to take a pill. And yeah, I had male doctors before. And I never like to think, well, maybe it has something to do with it because men don't go through what women go through. They're doctors, they're medical professionals, they'll know how to help. But when you've gone through it, you just help people different, And I have no hate on male doctors. I had the same male doctor for almost 6 years. I had changed to a different doctor when I had the miscarriage in 21. And then after that, it was this doctor 2 years later, which was like finally a female doctor that understands, especially when it has to do with reproductive issues or OBG issues. Male and female doctors are great, but I felt like this specific doctor helped me different. And she carried, and I was like, okay, what do you mean? She's calls, and my husband's with me in this appointment too. She calls 2 other doctors that she knew that also helped with that same clinic or doctor's office I go to. And they also happen to be surgeons. So she said, I'm going to call these 2 surgeons. And she got a second opinion. They're like, no, you should actually get a laparoscopic surgery just to make sure. We want to ensure that you don't have endometriosis or anything else that could be blocking pregnancy. or causing miscarriages, and this may not show up on ultrasounds and blood work. So maybe going internally, we could see with surgery if there's something. Then I was so happy, I was excited, a little scared for surgery. I wanted something less invasive, but I was willing to go through the process for what it was worth. So then 2 weeks before my surgery, we have a pre-op appointment with my doctor, which was going to be, you know, the surgeon that was also ended up being my doctor as well, in connection to the female doctor that was helping me. And he was like, hey, we would think it's best to add a hysteroscopy as well. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. And I would also like to add an HSG. So the hysteroscopy checks inside the uterus. The laparoscopy allows to check outside as well to make sure there's no endometriosis. Hysteroscopic goes inside, make sure wasn't fibroids, endometriosis, or like polyps inside, or anything else, cysts that could show up, uterine cysts, whatever the case was. And I trust in God. I'm like, all these years I was faithful. I was just on my game, A game, with my ultrasound work, my labs, my x-rays, to need a surgery to check because something may not show up in an ultrasound. What is this? I would do my yearly pap smears. Nothing shows up there. I would do my yearly checkups. Nothing would ever show. Even when I had the ultrasounds and the x-rays before, even after the miscarriage, nothing would show. So I was like, Lord, I trust you. I let go and let God. And when you let go and let God, things happen. So then, God, glory to Jesus. What happens next was crazy. I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll add it. We did hysteroscope, a laparoscope, hysteroscope, you catch my drift, surgery. Watch the full vlog, guys, for that. And then the HSG was basically a test that assimilates sperm. It's an ink, a dye they call, that goes up the vaginal canal into the fallopian tubes, and it's tracked on the monitor with a camera, and they can see that special dye that'll show up on the camera, and it assimilates sperm to kind of show that if that dye goes up all the way to the fallopian tubes to ensure there was no blockage. So I was like, let's do it. I had got that done back in 2016, 17 when I was going through medical checkups for potential infertility. Everything came out inconclusive because everything on my test was like perfect, flying colors. So it was I was listed as unexplained infertility. It wasn't just she's infertile because of X, Y, and Z, because nothing was never found. I passed all the tests with flying colors, other than the occasional anemia, and vitamin D deficiency, which a lot of people are on, but that is needed. That is a factor, but it wasn't like the cause of infertility. So I was an unexplained infertility. Surgery comes, and y'all, it just got real. All these years of excruciating pain, getting really sick, like my immunity dropping during my cycle, sometimes vomiting, diarrhea, excruciating pain, debilitating pain in my lower back that I couldn't even stand up straight. Ask my husband. I could get a cold, I could get fever, a lot of heavy, did I say heavy? Bleeding. And sometimes, y'all, my cycle could last 9 to 10 days. And let me tell you right now, that is not normal for nobody. So the heaviest was like 10-day. On average, it was 7 to 8 days. A miracle if it was 6 days. And that right there was heavy. So it was not understood what was going on like the fact that they had me thinking at some point, like, well, maybe this is just how mine is. No one should treat you like that. Like, oh, just drink a pill, and you're just popping pills, and those pills are also causing you adverse effect. Taking natural remedies, nothing's working. It's because there's always a root to the cause. Always dig in, ask, inquire, do your research, advocate for yourself. Bring someone in the office, not to fight or argue with the doctors, but to listen, but to observe, but to help you remember your questions that you have. And I thank God the last 2 appointments I had, one with my mom was there, one my husband, and they were the ones who also encouraged me to change my doctor that one last time, because they're like, why are you still seeing this doctor? Like, he's rude, he doesn't care, he's brushing you off. And I was okay, so it's not me, I'm not the one going crazy, which led me to change the doctor to the last one, who connected me to the surgeons, which led to surgery. Surgery day happens December 26, 2023. All glory goes to God. I never forget waking up from the anesthesia, which was so hard. By the way, like, no one told me, no one warned me of this, but it was like a pull on my body. And long story short, while I was in pain and all this, and insensible and trying to like wake up, I just remember seeing my doctor with the biggest smile on his face, and that was the surgeon, and all he says was, "Hi, Nareda, we have answers," with the biggest, like, from ear to ear smile. And I was like, suddenly, even in the midst of my going in and out, I felt this weight come off my shoulders, because I didn't know what he was talking about, but I knew it was good. At that moment, I knew they took something out of me, because your girl was in stitches. Your girl was in pain. But later on, he did speak to my mom and my husband first. I had consented. I find out I had uterine polyps. And my life has never been the same, because they're no longer in me. So what tried to attack me and my body and my future children and my womb is no longer there, is no longer valid. And I thank God for that. And the best part is that now you could see the before and after. What I thought was just normal and part of me was never God's plan for me. Okay? God's not letting you go through these things to harm you, to hurt you. Check Jeremiah 29:11. But let me tell you, you got to trust and put God first, because he'll guide you. He'll direct your path. He allowed that surgery to go well, and now the healing began. Now it's a few days after surgery. New year starts. It's January, and I have a whole year that I've seen many cycles of a normal cycle. Let me just tell you guys, when I had that first cycle, I cried not of pain, but of like, wow, this is so different. So I went from someone going through 7 to 10 day super heavy duty cycle, and I haven't had a 7-day cycle. My cycles are like 5-6 days. I do have a heavy day. I do bloat, which before my bloating, that was a thing. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I didn't mention the bloating. I look like 3-4 months pregnant. I would go from looking one way. I could be thin today, and tomorrow suddenly my face was round. My stomach looked like it was protruded. Like it was just like huge. And it was all those polyps doing this, contracting and enlarging, when my body was getting all that blood to release from tissue. So God healed me. I've seen this year, and while I haven't got pregnant yet, I still thank God, because I have seen healing, I have seen growth, and I trust that the Lord's been healing me inside. The scar outside has reduced and shrunk significantly, gone lighter, and has been less, like, it's less swollen as the months gone by. My pain is less during my cycle. I basically go through one day of a lot of pain and one day of bloating, then it goes away super fast. One heavy day and it's gone. A lot of the symptoms, excruciating pain, debilitation, all that is gone. And I have had a year of glory and of gratitude unto the Lord. So yes, while your situation may not seem how you've expected, I thought this year I was going to be pregnant like that, and it didn't happen. But then I ponder and I stop and think, and my husband reminded me, like, you've been healing. And my doctor did warn me, don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong. My doctor warned me, he said it will still take months. And he's like, Nareda, you, even months later, you still may feel something, weeks later, because we really had to go in there and burn things off. So internally, you're still healing, which I would see by the signs of the 2 scars I have. And it's crazy. So I've been almost a year of, well, officially, right? Yeah, December. It's past December 26th. So a year of healing, and I'm so grateful to the Lord. So I just want to tell you and encourage you not to lose sight of the Lord. And just because I haven't got pregnant yet doesn't mean that God hasn't done it. He begun by healing me, by helping me grow this whole year, increase my faith, my hope, and getting me to a healthier place, so that now I could enjoy pregnancy and have my children. And I can also use my story to tell you to have faith long to be healthier, seek the Lord. Know that if He made you a promise, He will make it come to pass. And don't forget to be an advocate for yourself. Much love, guys. God bless you. Stay strong, and let's have a better 2025. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so that YouTube notifies you when I post another video. Peace.